From Wall Street to Main Street, this is Lalate.
It's a big night of evenings Lalate with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check, that monthly reoccurring stimulus check. That fourth stimulus check would start in July and go all the way to December from those Senate Democrats and those House Democrats. I have the latest details on the fourth stimulus check in this recording. Then great news about the fifth stimulus check. That fifth stimulus package would add SSI reform that would increase your benefits if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, and SSA. Then big developing details about third stimulus as the child tax credit is about to come in the next few weeks. I'm going to explain how that will work. And then we retouch and go over what the president said last night and what he did not say, and how that'll impact you across the board. Also, we look forward to the big money that's coming to your pockets in the next few weeks, what is automatic and what is not automatic, what you have to apply for and what you don't have to apply for. It's a big day, and I also have the latest financial news that came out today, including the new jobs numbers, yes, it's Thursday, the new housing numbers, and also the new GDP numbers. You're going to be surprised. Are we on a rate of growth and recovery faster than anticipated or about the same? I'll have all those details and more as Evenings LA starts right now. It's a big night of Evenings LA, and I'm really excited you're here. How are you? Boy, what an exciting night, and we have so much to cover in tonight's broadcast. We're going to be covering that fourth stimulus check, the monthly stimulus checks that would start in the month of July, go all the way to December. I'm really excited about this, and I'll have all the details for you in this recording. Thank you for tuning in. Then we go to fifth stimulus, the SSI reform, also the big other money that the president announced last night. I have all the explanation and the clarity on those details. Then we're going to cut back to third stimulus, the one that's already law, that was passed earlier this year. And the big money that's starting to land this week, next week, and the week after. I'll have all those details. What is application-based, meaning you have to apply for it, and what is not. I'll clarify that all across the board. But first, if you've not subscribed, please do. This channel is the most comprehensive, most in-depth, and most interactive and fun financial news channel around the globe, reporting 24/7, from the thick of dawn to the thick of evening. And this is our final informative show of the night. After this is our humor-only broadcast, LA Late Night. Stay with the show and it will teleport you to the next show after this one. Meantime, if you've not liked this video, consider liking this video. It really helps in the algorithm rankings. And finally, if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. The link is in the top of the chat and also in the pinned comments. All right, with that, let's get to the exciting great news. Fourth stimulus. What is it? How does it work? And when would you get that money? Fourth stimulus is also referred to as the American Jobs Plan or the Recovery Act. And here's what you need to know to start the evening. The president doesn't write bills. The president doesn't detail what's in the bill. He merely proposes what he wants in the bill. But the fourth stimulus is going to be written by Congress, by a reconciliation process, a two-step process that takes 2 months. And those congressional leaders have already put in writing that they're putting into the fourth stimulus package whatever the president wants, but are going to add on to it monthly stimulus checks. This is what's very important for you to understand as we go forward. I said this over the last few days, but I'm going to make it very clear over the remainder of this week. The president doesn't write bills. The president doesn't say what goes in bills, that the add-ons and the actual writing of the bills come from congressional leaders. So while you may have tuned into that speech last night and not have heard anything from the president about stimulus checks, I told you he was not going to mention it because that's the add-on that congressional leaders we're going to put in the bill when they write it. It's also the same in the case of fifth stimulus for SSI reform coming up later in this recording. So those four stimulus checks would go by reconciliation with the fourth stimulus package. The fourth stimulus package would start reconciliation, which is a two-step process that takes 2 months, starts in the House, goes to the Senate, then comes back to the House and goes to the Senate again, starting in the month of May. How much Money is at hand. How much money will you see? Let's go over all the details across the board. The House members have already put in writing that the stimulus checks would go for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year every month. So if there's 6 months left to the pandemic, that's 18 months of checks. The House members have said the stimulus checks go from now to December. Who are these people? The House members are more junior members of Congress. The senators are more senior members of Congress. And then how do the checks work? In the case of the House, they want the first check to be $2,000 for the first month and the $1,000 thereafter. The senators want the stimulus checks to be a monthly amount, which they've not disclosed, but word on the street is it looks like this. Word on the street is the individual, one person's check is $2,000 a month over 6 months or $12,000. $1,400 a month over 6 months or $8,400. This is you. This stimulus check goes to you. Let me explain some of the questions you may have in seeing that number. First, it looks like a lot more than 2020. When you stay to the remainder part of this video, you're going to see the president's paying people $20, $30, $40, $60, $70,000 of stimulus in the next few stimulus packages. So this is a different year, a different administration, a lot more spending. Number two, is that the individual's check? Yes. So that is the individual. A married couple, you double it. Household of four or less, you times it by 4. If you're on SSI or SSDI, Social Security or Rural Benefits, you get it. Let's go over the eligibility. 75, same as the third stimulus check. 75,000 or less, single individual income, you get it. 150,000 or less, married couple, you get it. Family of 4 or less, you get it. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Rural Benefits, Veterans Benefits, you get it. All right, so then I always get a series of other questions. Does this count as income? No. Is it taxable? No. Does it disqualify me for benefits? No. I didn't get the second check. Would I get the fourth check? Yes. If you're having a routing problems with a prior check, it does not disqualify you from the fourth stimulus package. There's just a routing problem with your prior check. Does it come in waves? No, it can't. It can't come in waves because they're monthly checks. They would come month after month after month. Just like your benefits if you're on Social Security. You know the check comes every month on that day. That's how this would work. How would they get you the check? They haven't said that, but my guessing, it's only guessing, is that they would do the Harris-Warren plan, Harris-Sanders plans from 2020, which is to send you a debit card and then replenish it every month thereafter. Makes very easy sense. It's cheap for the IRS. Okay, so that is for stimulus. Let me go over procedurally how this works so you understand this. And guess what? It's the same procedure for the fifth stimulus, which is coming up in the second half of this recording. The fifth stimulus will go by the same procedure. So if you understand for fourth, you understand for fifth. And if you're with me till next year, I have a feeling next year is going to be the sixth stimulus package, also going by reconciliation. All right, what is reconciliation? Let me explain what a reconciliation path means. It means you don't need any Republican votes. It means Mitch McConnell is not a factor. It means all you need is the Democratic support. It is a two-step process. It takes 2 months by the laws of Congress. There's no way to speed up any faster. And step one is you agree to do a recon. It's just a procedural bill. The bill says, do you agree to do a reconciliation? We agree. House votes, done. Senate votes, done. Off to the president, signed to law. Now the tow truck has passed over the finish line. Time back to go back and pick up the tow hitch. That's a substantive part. The substantive part, the meat and gravy, the biscuits and gravy that goes on top of the tow hitch. At that point, they start to put the items into the fourth stimulus package. Now, last night, you may have heard the president talk about roads, infrastructure, pipes, water, climate. That's what they will put in there for the president, the House. They will also potentially put in the stimulus checks on the House level. There's 2 ways to do this. The House members can put the stimulus checks in, or they can wait till the senators get it and the senators can put it in, or this House members can put it in and the senators can revise it. So there's a lot of different options when the checks would slide in. For a vote on the House floor, done. To the Senate floor, then is when they have the vote-a-rama. What is the vote-a-rama? It's not a slang term. It's actually, that's what it's called. It's a 2-day event. It's the final 2 days of this entire process. And during those 2-day events, they propose amendments. They may propose minimum wage amendment. They may propose purple hair amendment. They may propose any amendment they want. But the amendment the senators will propose is those monthly stimulus checks. Call for a vote, pass to the president, sign into law, done. Done, and congratulations. The single biggest payout you will have ever seen on the history of this channel. For stimulus, away we go. Done. When, how, and by what means? They have to start this around May. They have to finish it in July. Why? Because they go on vacation. They don't come back until September. They have these sporadic 1 or 2 days in town, but not enough time. They got to get this done by July. Leader Schumer and Speaker Pelosi both confirmed the vote would be by July 4th. And the checks would land the month of July, for July, the month of August, for the month of August, all the way up till the end of this year. Done. Very, very simple. Coming up in the second half of this recording, I'm going to go over the big money for fifth stimulus. That is the SSI reform, the big money that would pay you a lot more money, and also would there be more stimulus checks. I also go over what the president is going to put into the fifth stimulus package. You may have heard some of it last night. He didn't go over all of it. I have all the details for you. But first, one last thing about fourth stimulus. How is it going to be paid for? Last night, the president did not say which tax items are used for which stimulus package, but the suggestion seemed that the fourth stimulus package will be paid by a change of the corporate tax. So fourth stimulus will be paid with a corporate tax rate change. The fourth stimulus is the one I just went over, those stimulus checks. The fifth stimulus, which is coming up after the commercial break, will be paid with capital gains taxes and personal tax rates changed. There you go. Why is it important to get fourth stimulus, these multiple stimulus checks to the Senate as soon as possible? Because of what's going on across the board. The new unemployment numbers were released this morning, and it showed we are good for purposes of multiple stimulus checks because the economy actually did not accelerate in its recovery last week. The new unemployment claims released this morning. Hey, it's Thursday morning. Every Thursday morning, the new unemployment claims are released. And what do they come in at? 553. The prior week, 547. So it got actually a little bit worse. Also making news is that California will be reopening completely across the board in the month of June. New York City just announced today that it's fully reopened 100% on July 1st. So those reopening plays could impact these unemployment numbers in the next few weeks. You want this stimulus to get to the Senate as soon as possible. Also making news today is the new home sales numbers. This actually showed slowing of the economy. New home sales were up 1.9%. Wall Street was expecting it to go up to 4%. And meantime, the GDP numbers were not particularly any better than Wall Street anticipated. Wall Street is estimating GDP growth, which is how much growth is in the economy. Very big signal for stimulus checks. 6.5% was what Wall Street expected. We came in at 6.4. All very easy breezy to understand. Before the commercial break, and I come back to go over fifth stimulus, I want to go over some things about third stimulus. Series of questions that have been circulating, and they're great questions, and I want to answer them right now. Was there another wave of stimulus checks that went out this week? Yes, there is another wave of stimulus checks going out this week. But IRS is saying that these are for people who filed 2020 tax returns to update IRS about a situation for them that IRS previously thought they didn't know the person existed or didn't know the person qualified for a stimulus check. So if this is you, congratulations. Great news. This is the third stimulus check, the $1,400. Great news. Second, the child credit, which starts in the month of July. I started to sort of ease back into the subject over the last few days because I thought it was sort of easy and breezy to understand. Oh boy, it's not apparently. Some viewers have gotten very confused by their tax preparers and also by other YouTube channels that have been saying completely incorrect information. I also have to admit that the child credit is a strange instrument because it's an advance. So it's very peculiar. So let me explain what it is and do you qualify for it and do you have to do anything? First, what they're paying in the month of July for 1 year, a payment every month, is in advance of the 2021 tax year for children. So if you have a child 17 and newborn, they're paying you in advance for that child starting in the month of July for next year's tax return. So normally you would have to wait to next year to get the money. They're giving it to you ahead of time. That's why it's a little bit peculiar. That's the first thing. So with that, understand it has nothing to do with your 2020 tax return. It's for the 2021 year. Second, the eligibility, you don't have to work. The eligibility is you make less than $75,000 and you have that child. It's as simple as that. And you file tax, and the IRS knows you exist and you've been filing tax returns. So if you're a person who does not file tax returns, or the IRS doesn't know that child exists, you got to get that tax return on file so that they know the child exists and so they know they need to send that check to you. Finally, are people on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and Rural Benefits qualified for this? Absolutely. So long as you have that tax return on file, so long as they know the child exists, then you're going to start to get those checks in the month of July. Also, let's say you're a trillionaire and you had a child during the pandemic. Congratulations. Congratulations to the new child. Oh, it's twins? Oh, congratulations to the twins. Oh, it's triplets. Well, IRS needs to know about those children. If they don't know about those children, even if you're a trillionaire, you still have to tell them about it. But guess what? If you're a trillionaire, you're not going to qualify. Because remember, it's $75,000 or less single individual income. Unless that was you last year. I just had a bad year. And there you go. That is the child care tax credit. More about this exciting, great news and what's in fifth stimulus coming up after the commercial break. Remember, fifth stimulus is just around the corner, and I'm going to have all the big, exciting news, all the details of what you get. But first, here's a little bit about the community page. Rent, utilities, food, mortgage assistance, internet, a lot of those items from third stimulus have yet to land in the States. They're landing in May, just a few days away from now. So watch this commercial break, and if you need help, reach out to the volunteers. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join Lalate Daily for the excitement of the new Lalate live daily. The excitement starts on mornings Lalate at 9 a.m. Home Lalate returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons Lalate at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on Lalate. And the excitement continues on Lalate starting right now. How are you? It's a big night across the board. And I'm really excited for you to have joined me on tonight's broadcast. Heating up in 2 hours from now is the incredible great news of Sirloin. Sirloin and Javita Late join us at LA Late Night in 2 hours from now. That is our laugh-a-minute, irreverent, humor-only broadcast. That's Sirloin and Javita Late coming up in 2 hours from now. But you're tuning in currently now to Evenings LA. How are you? If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. We just turned 1 year old. Congratulations, happy birthday to this channel. We're 1 year old in just a few days. And yesterday, you were just absolutely on fire. A lot of new subscribers. So thank you for all the wonderful new subscribers yesterday. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. The competition's heating up. And at 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 likes, it really helps in dealing with the competition. Also, if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. The link's at the top of the chat and in the pinned comment. And say hi. I'm in the live chat. How are you? Let me tell you a couple things before we progress. First, there's a couple things you need to know. LA Late Night is a humor-only broadcast, and if you have been with me since April 25th when this channel launched last year, I have been making jokes since day one. Why? Because it's important to stay positive, to stay motivated, to stay informed, and also be lighthearted. This is a wonderful community where everyone loves each other, and we try to laugh things off. we need a laughing show to end the complete day, to end the day after we've had a full programming schedule of informative news. So understand, LA Late Night after this is in a humor-only broadcast, and it's a nice retreat from a day of informative news. If you don't like humor, don't tune in. We won't miss you. But then, that's a little shady. But then the other thing I want you to understand is that the President of the United States press conference yesterday, or joint session of Congress, which I really appreciate you tuning in to watch with me, is just a speech. It's not a bill. So please do not drop anywhere in the comments. He did not mention stimulus checks. Of course he didn't mention stimulus checks. He's not putting them in there. Congress is putting them in there. He did not mention SSI reform. Of course he did not mention it. He's not putting them in there. They're putting them in there. And I told everyone before the announcement that he was not going to do it. It was no surprise. And that's not the way the legislative branch works. They write bills, not the president. And with that, let's go to the SSI and SSDI reform, which again, he did not mention last night. They're putting it in. The SSI and SSDI Social Security and Railroad Benefits reform is coming again from House Democrats and House Senators. They've written it, and they've made it apparently very clear. Ooh, that's AirTag. Sorry, I AirTagged you there. Those Democrats are going to put an SSI reform to the fifth stimulus package. So what is it? Let's go over all the details. First, they're going to increase your benefits limits. Then they're going to increase the asset limits. They're going to add an inflationary benchmark. They're going to remove the income exclusion and then remove the marriage penalty. All right, let me go over what that means and make it very easy breezy for you to follow. First, this is you if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, SSA, or any type of Social Security other instrument which I may not have mentioned. And if you're on multiple instruments, yes, all of them are going to get raised. First, they're going to raise up your benefits to a new number. Congratulations, you're going to have a big, new, beautiful number. That will be your new number going forward. Second, they're going to tie your benefits to inflation. That will be your new benchmark. Gone will be COLA, which doesn't move. Last year, your benefits went up 1%, while the economy's cost of goods sold went up 20%. You had less money, while goods cost 20% more. They're going to get rid of that. They're going to tie you to inflation, so as goods go up, you have more money. And remember, when they raise your benefits up every year, they're never going to pull them back down. You either stay the same or go higher. The Federal Reserve spoke this week and said the inflationary rate over the next 2 years, 3 years, will be 2 to 4%. There's a lot of reports out today that say we could have massive inflation. Well, if we do, your benefits are going to go massively up. Then the other great news is that they're removing the asset cap. If you have an asset cap, you know what it is. It's $3,000. It dates back to a 1984 rule. They're throwing that out. 4, if you want to work, and some of my SSI viewers do like to work, but can't work a lot of money, can't work a lot because of a 1962 rule, they're getting rid of that. So if you want to work, they're going to get rid of the 1962 rule and allow you to work $2,000 a month, keep that money on hand, and still stay on benefits. And finally, if you know what the marriage penalty is, you know how horrible it is. They're getting rid of the marriage penalty. All incredible, great news. This is the SSI reform that goes into the fifth stimulus when, again, Congress does it by recon, to which now you know what a reconciliation process is. You know how it works. The question is when. September, this is when fifth stimulus starts. When would it end? Around October-ish, November-ish. When would you see the first benefits in your pocketbook? November. And away we go. That would be your fifth stimulus package. All right, so then last night, the president debuted to the American people the remainder of the fifth stimulus package. But if you were already a member to this channel, the link's on the top of the channel, also the pinned comment, you already knew the details. But if you missed them, I'm going to go over them right now. These are the other provisions so far in the fifth stimulus package. They could get modified, or there could be more added to them. First, money will be provided for higher care, child care, ensuring that families pay only a portion of their income towards child care services. Second, a national comprehensive paid and medical leave program. Third, free universal preschool for 3 to 4-year-olds for all 3 to 4-year-olds. Next, 2 years of free community college, then more money towards the Pell Grant, and then a $62 billion grant program to increase college retention and completion rates. That's the first half of the list. Now, you're going to ask, what happened to Miguel Cardona? Yes, he is the education secretary who was supposed to produce that memo about student loan debt forgiveness. Now, almost 3 weeks ago, he was in task. He was given the instruction 5 weeks ago to do it in 2 weeks, and now it's almost 3 weeks late. Last night, when the president debuted the fifth stimulus package, while you may not have seen on this channel because the evening's LA graphic was covering it, they had a lot of pop-ups, like MTV pop-up video. They had a lot of pop-ups with Miguel Cardona's name saying, "I like this and I like that." Well, American would like their $50,000 student loan debt forgiveness, Mr. Cardona. So we're still waiting for that. Come on, Mr. Cardona, get it going. Not particularly clear why he's going on to a new subject when he hasn't dealt with that subject. Here's my reaction to some of these items. I don't particularly like the 3 to 4 year olds free preschool because it's all 3 to 4 year olds. It should only be for low income families. The way it's written, it sounds like rich people can get free preschool for their kids. Why are we giving that? So I think it needs some revising. Free community college has the same problem. It says all students. It shouldn't be all students. It shouldn't be students who are children of billionaires. Why are we paying for free school for billionaires' kids? So I think that needs to be modified. All right, let's go to the second half. $62 billion to increase college retention and completion rates. I like this. I would do more. Now, you may be tuning in and wondering, where's that $1,700 for college students under third stimulus? Yeah, you're remembering that one. That you have to reach out to your college advisor to get that money. But I would like more money for college grants. I think we need more. Okay, then they give 2 years of subsidized tuition to go to college if your parent individually makes $125,000 or less. I don't like this. So if the parent makes six figures, we're going to give that parent's kids free tuition? No, I'd rather drop the income qualification. I think it should be if the parent makes $75,000 or less, then 2 years of free college. Why, if you make $125,000, why are we giving you free? If you're making six figures, why are we giving you free tuition for your kid? Then $45 billion towards nutritional needs, including expanding EBT. I like this. I love this, but I rather spend more money on this one. This is SNAP. You know how SNAP has been so wonderful, my viewers. There are countless viewers of this channel who are absolutely salt and earth of this channel who never knew about SNAP before tuning into this channel. I just have Maui Larry, Jenny, a lot of people have never known about SNAP before I covered on the channel. And to tell you the truth, I never knew about SNAP before I launched the channel. I never heard about SNAP. SNAP is just a wonderful program. If you make less than a certain amount of money, you get SNAP. And it's increased 15% because of a Trump executive order for 6 months and another 6 months because of a Biden executive order. So I rather have it increased more than 15% or increased at 50%, for a few more years. That's the first thing. Second, PEBTUs for the children, I rather increase that across the board and not just if the child's staying home. So I rather have more money for SNAP across the board. I just think it's a wonderful program. And it really makes a big difference for people. Imagine you don't have to pay for food, so you have that extra money saved up that you can use on something else that needs critical attention. Let's say you need dental work or you need to fix your car, the car won't run. Now you have money cleared up because you have money for SNAP. It's just incredible. I'd rather have more money on this. $200 billion to make the health insurance premiums lower. So that's on the third stimulus. That's the Obamacare. I don't cover it too much on this channel. It's in the third stimulus. They want to make that permanent. And then here comes the last three items. Let me do them out of order. Make permanent the earned income tax credit. Okay, so now this one is confusing, and I don't like the way it's written. I'd rather do it bigger. Again, I'd like to go bigger on this one. The earned income tax credit has been around for many years. And what it was usually a couple $100. If you worked as an essential worker over a certain threshold, you could get this as a credit on your tax return. Not a check, but a credit. This is the hazard pay provision. Well, the third stimulus changed that to make it bigger and include more people. So now it's $1,504, 2021 tax return, earned income tax credit if you worked as an essential worker, 19 years or older, and made less than $25,000. So they want to take that and make it permanent. I like that, but I'd rather do it bigger. I'd rather have it more money, more people, so more people who over $25,000, and more money. I don't see why not. It makes sense. Then make permanent the expansion of the child care tax credit. This is when you have child care costs. Under the third stimulus package law, if you have one child and you have child care costs, you can deduct up to 50% of them or $5,000. Or for two children, up to 50% of it, or $8,000. It's proposed to make it permanent. I like that as well, but I'd rather have it more money. I rather would. If it's two children, it should be $10,000. If it's three children, it should be more than $8,000. I think it should be more money. You're spending the money. Why is it not tax deductible? What's the problem having the tax deduction? Makes no sense. I'd rather have more money put toward this. Okay, finally, the most controversial provision. I left the most controversial one for last. And that is the child care tax credit. Earlier in this recording, you heard it covered. The $3,600 if your child is 17, 5 to newborn, or $3,000 if the child is 17 to 6. The proposal is to do it for 6 years. It's currently 1 year under the third stimulus package. The proposal is to do it for 6 years. The president wanted to do it lifetime, which means you would have gotten 17 years. His staff pushed back and said, no, you can't do it. You got to do it for 6 years. So it's $24,000. I don't like it. I just don't like it. But I'm more worried about what Representative Neal, head of the Ways and Means Committee, who will be doing the recon bill and writing it with his subcommittee once. He has actually introduced a bill which now has support from about 6 members of Congress to do it over 17 years or at $70,000. I don't like it. I don't like it. Sir Lloyd doesn't like it either. And you can tune in for that humor broadcast in about 2 hours from now to see Sir Lloyd's reaction. But I think it's too much money. I think it's too much money, and I don't think it makes sense. But that's my personal opinion. And remember, how is this going to be paid for? Let's go over the tax pay-fors for these items. So fifth stimulus, which we were just going over, will be paid by capital gains taxes and personal tax. Corporate tax will pay for fourth stimulus. And with that, it's been a big night. I've been so excited you have joined me on a wonderful evening across the board. You know, as a family, we try to keep it positive, we try to keep it informed, and we try to keep it motivated. We're always keeping ourselves with good spirits. And as a family, I really, really want to thank you for all the really nice comments you've been posting in the channel the last few days. I've been jumping into the comments a little bit more myself. So I've been jumping into the comments, not the live chat, but the actual posted comments and interacting with you. Just keep the love coming. Keep the love coming. Bless each other. Bless one another. Be kind to one another. Be kind of spirit. And with that, if you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. You're a wonderful family. I'm so glad you're along for this ride. Subscribe and become part of the best family there is. Also like this video. 3,000 likes. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Sir Lloyd and Javita Late. Stay here. The show will take you to them, which are coming up in 2 hours from now. They're a Reverend Humor Only broadcast. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay informed.